What's going on, everybody? I'm excited. We're back again. Episode 6, Season 2 of Cultivating Churches podcast. Because remember, you got to first cultivate your souls, which cultivates leaders, and that's what cultivates churches. We got to start on the inside. That penetrates on the outside. And if you'll notice the theme over the last several episodes, I've been talking about some things. 2 episodes ago, we talked about gossip and what that kind of means, putting around you and the kind of people that you're surrounded by, how that affects us. And if we let that in, it not only affects us, but affects the organization and the way you got to view it. And then the last episode, we talked about the weight of leadership. That there's a weight you bear as a leader, and listen to me, everybody's leaders, because we all have a sphere of influence. Some people's sphere is bigger, but that doesn't mean you don't have a sphere of influence. And there's a weight you're going to carry that other people don't carry. There's decisions you have to make other people don't have to make. And with all of that in mind, you're going to have to get your heart wrapped around the fact that who you put around you matters. There is a weight you're bearing, but you're not going to be able to bear that weight alone. That the weight you bear is going to have to be helped by the people you are surrounded with. And this is a mentality you're going to have to get in your heart and mind. You can't change the people around you, but you can change the people around you. I'm going to say that again. You can't change the people around you, but you can change the people around you. I can't change people. I can't change who they are, their personalities. I can't change the way they want to lead or their style. I can't change people's heart. That's the Holy Spirit's job. But I can make a decision about who I put around me and what that means, because listen to me, you won't be all that you're called to be if you're not surrounded by the right people in your life, because we're not meant to do it alone. So today we're going to talk about who's around you. More importantly, I'm going to use a story called Who's Holding Your Ladder. So let's get it. All right, I'm going to say it again. I can't change the people around me, but I can change the people around me. Who I surround myself with matters. Paul says it's so awesome in 1 Corinthians chapter 15, verse 33. Watch this. Bad company corrupts good character. Right? Bad company corrupts good character. I know right now you're just thinking, oh my goodness. That sounds like one of those school assemblies from high school, right? Show me your friends and I'll show you your future. Pastor Mike, that's so cliche. That's so cliche. Listen to me. It's cliche for a reason. Cliches are cliches because they have a semblance of truth in them, right? There is a reality, the fact that who you put around you is going to affect where you go. You can have good character. You can have good intentions in life, but if you surround yourself with people that don't have those same intentions, that's not going where you want to go, maybe there's some negativity in their life. Maybe they're just fine with being status quo. They don't want to push themselves anymore. If that's who you surround, they get the main voices in your life, you will end up becoming like them. Like it or not, most of us like to act like we're these world-changing leaders. We set the trends. No, majority of the world follows trends. Majority of the world goes with the flow. And that's why we're built for communal experiences. We're built for community. You're going to go with where the community goes. Now, if your community is going places you don't want to go, you're going to end up following them sooner or later. So who you put around you and who you surround yourself with matters. And so I heard a story. Sam Chan said it like this. He said, who's holding your ladder? And it's kind of like a concept. If you hear it, you go, what's that mean, right? Like, who's holding your ladder, right? Has no context to it. It's a simple statement unless you understand the story behind the context, right? What he's meaning. Sam said years ago, he was in an office building having meetings, and he looked out the window, and he kind of got distracted because he saw a painter out there painting the exterior of a building. And he's like, cool. And he watches this painter, and he's on a ladder, and he's painting a building, but he notices that the painter is only going up a certain height distance. He's only going up so far up the ladder, and he's missing a big portion of the wall because he can't reach it. And so Sam kind of starts studying this, and he realizes that painter's only going up a certain height of the ladder because he's got nobody there holding the ladder, right? You only trust the ladder so much, you're only going to go to a certain height. And Sam had this concept in his mind. He goes, if he had someone holding the ladder for him, He would actually be able to reach the entirety of the wall. He would be able to climb the ladder higher. And basically the simple concept is this: who's holding your ladder is just as important as the person that's on the ladder. Like, you could have big vision, you could have great intentions, you could have this great idea or dream for yourself, you could want more for yourself, and all of those things are true, but you'll only get as high as the people that's holding your ladder for you, that is supporting you and is surrounding you. That's true in leadership, and that's true in just everyday life. And so a lot of us have great intentions. A lot of us have great dreams. But the problem is we don't have the execution of our dreams because we don't surround ourselves with the people that are actually going to help us execute on where we're going. So you can have a high vision, but you're limiting yourself. And too many times we try to do it alone, or we're doing it with the wrong people. And I love the old African proverb: if you want to run fast, run alone. But if you want to run far, run together. We are built to have people in our corner. And so Sam, I'm going to kind of give you a little bit of analogy Sam uses with this concept. Sam basically says the type of people you need to have certain characteristics. And he actually uses the word staff, S-T-A-F-F. And so he breaks that down and he says, staff, this is what you need. First is S, which means you need strong people around you. Those who can handle instruction and correction. You ever met somebody that anytime you give them feedback, it's just like they are so offended? Like the world just crumbles that you actually said something to them, right? Like, I can't believe you said that about me, right? Like, I can't believe you made that comment or statement about me, because it's just like we're not accustomed to it, right? The reality is no one's perfect. And feedback is not an attack. Feedback is an encouragement for growth, right? Everybody needs feedback. I need feedback. I might be the leader of my church or my organization, but that doesn't mean I don't have other leaders in my life give me feedback. I go to therapy on a regular basis. Guess what? My therapist gives me feedback. I have coaches in my life give me feedback. I have spiritual fathers in my life that correct me and address things in my life. And I'm very open about what's going on. And I bring up situations because we all need that in our lives. Not only that, I have peers in my life that I share things with. I'm thinking this way, or I'm having this issue, and they can share with me honest, truthful feedback. And I got my wife, and my wife tells me lots of feedback. Come on, she don't mince no words, because we need people in our lives. And you can't go at leadership, and you can't be surrounded by people that's not willing to have that. And you also have to be surrounded by strong people that have resilience. That we're going to go through seasons, and we're going to go through things. And we're going to have busier seasons, and we're going to go through different areas. We're coming out of a pandemic. We need strong people. The hide of a rhino, the heart of a child. The hide of a rhino, the heart that's tender and loves people, right? We don't want to become hard-hearted, but we do want to have thick skin so that we can actually be who we're called to be. And you're going to have to grow through feedback. So we need strong people around us. The second thing you need is teachable people. Those people that are willing to unlearn and relearn. You can't have people hold your ladder or surrounding yourself by people that don't realize that times change and things shift. Some people are so stuck in what they've always done, they can never be who they're called to be. Well, that's the way we used to do it. Or change just gets them so worked up they can't handle it. Change just stresses them out. They sit and think about, oh my gosh, we got to do all this and all. And it just worries them. Listen to me. Change becomes the new normal over time. You got to learn that change is inevitable. Everybody has changed. The first century church is not the traditional church you know today, right? If we were thinking we're going to be traditional like the first century church, got to get rid of the air conditioning, get rid of the pews, get rid of the organs, and get rid of the Bibles. They didn't have a printing press back then, right? Those hymns that you think are so traditional, they didn't sing them in the Bible, right? Like, there's always been change in the church. There's always been change in society. There's always been change in organizations. And we've got to learn and unlearn and relearn things all the time. My church is far from perfect. We've had a lot of success over the years. I'm constantly thinking, how can we get better? Where are the cracks in our organization? What's out of balance or out of whack? I constantly am consuming what are other people doing and what are the needs of this community around us and how can we fix things. And I'm talking and I'm listening and I'm asking questions within our departments and with our leaders and with the people of our church, trying to get a little bit of sense of feedback here and there. And then I reflect on it a lot. I sit back and I reflect, okay, what's our lowest target we need to hit? What's the thing we're the worst at right now? Or what's the thing we need the most growth in? And I'm constantly trying to relearn and unlearn some bad habits so we can grow. And if you got people on your team that are surrounding you that just refuse to do that, guess what? How can they hold your ladder and you get to higher heights if they're not willing to go to higher heights? Guess what they're going to do? They're going to think the weight's too heavy and they're going to let go. They're going to get a little nervous of you getting high and they're going to tell you, get down, you're too high. That's not safe. And they're not going to let you get those heights because they're too nervous, because change is scary at first. But then it becomes the new normal over time, and we've got to learn that. The third characteristic, the A, is for attentive. We need people that we don't have to constantly remind to get going. You know those kind of people that every time you have a conversation with them, they're good for like a week or two, and then all of a sudden they go right back into their habits, their casual habits. They go back into their unmotivated habits. They go back into this habit where then you have to go and have another conversation with them and you got to remind them, right? They're the kind of people that like, you're like, hey dude, I'm up on this ladder and you walked away, right? You can't leave your spot. Like, I'm up high. I need you to have my back. I need you to have my ladder. I need people there. You need people that are going to have some intentionality to their life. You need some self-starters or motivators. If the people that are around you on your leadership are people that are not self-starters, they're not motivated, they don't take initiative, guess what? They're not hungry enough. They don't learn on their own. They're not seeking things on their own. They're not trying to change things on their own. They're not trying to hit the ground running. They only do what you tell them and only do it to the level you tell them to do it at. They don't go above and beyond, right? They meet their quota. They'll hit their paycheck, but that's about as far as it is. Those kind of people, you can't build big vision with. Those are not the kind of people you can actually take to the next level. What you're going to have to do is surround yourself with people that are hungry, people that want something bigger, because they will always hold you back. Because every time they leave that ladder, they leave you in danger. They leave you hanging out to dry. All right, we've got strong. We got teachable. We got those that are attentive, man. They're hungry. They're paying attention. They don't leave their spot. They actually want something more. And then you're going to have people that are firm. They're not blown around by manipulative people. They don't listen to the gossip. They don't listen to the complaints and then go into a negative spin. If they do hear a complaint, they look at it and go, okay, how can we fix it and get better? Right? They don't start believing all the negative hype, because there's a lot of haters in this world. They take the words that people may say and they say, how can we build upon it? How can we take it, spit out the bones, and eat the little bit of meat? Because there's always a semblance of truth to some criticism. It might not always be true, but there's always nuggets there. But they also don't get blown around by whatever's going on in life. Because listen to me, there are always going to be busier seasons. There's going to be times when you go through global pandemics and the whole society changes. There are going to be times whenever we may lose a big account, or you might lose a family, or people might move away, or somebody feels called to something else and they go take it. There's always going to be seasons. There's going to be a disruption. What are those kind of people in those disruptions? Are they the kind of people that have the strong roots, that are like the roots in the grove that tie together with all the leadership and they keep each other firm? Or are they shallow rooted? Are they the kind of people that fall over every time? Are they the kind of people that get stressed out? Are they the kind of people that can look at it and stand back at a 30,000 foot view and realize this is a season, this is a storm, right? We're going to learn from this storm. We're going to get better, because guess what? What do trees do? The Bible or sciences show us that as trees get the wind blowing against them, and as they're getting rocked back and forth, it actually builds strength in them because their roots go deeper through the winds, through the rocking, right? Or we can have leaders that get deeper through it and realize storms are temporary, and if we can learn from them and grow from them, the blue skies follow. Or you're going to have those people around you that always panic. So you need to look at the people around you and go, how do they handle difficulty? And how do they handle seasons that are disrupted? Okay? Are they firm? Do they listen to every gossip? Are they the ones kind of in the gossip? Are they the ones always negative about everything's going on? Oh, this is me, or then, or look at what I'm going to do, and now I'm going to do. Or are they the kind of people that realize, I'm going to put my roots in and be strong? So we've got strong. We got teachable, attentive, firm, and lastly, faithful. You can't put people around you don't trust. You can't have somebody that's holding your ladder that's looking elsewhere. What's the next best opportunity? Right? I'm here because I ain't got nothing better going on, but I'm waiting for another ladder I can go run to. Right? I'm here, but this is just going to put me by until, a better job comes along. Or, you know what? I feel like I can hit my exit. I'm not really bought into the vision. I'm not really sold out. I'm not really that supportive of the leader. I don't really have that much trust in it. I'm kind of just here because it's the best opportunity I have available. You're going to have to make sure you put people around you that are faithful, that you could trust. Because guess what? There's a lot of weight. And as a leader, when you're carrying that weight, you're going to make mistakes. There's going to be times that you don't handle everything always right. There are going to be times sometimes you got to make hard choices that the people around you don't understand, they don't agree, but you know it's what's best. And you need people to realize they're going to be faithful. And then whenever the time passes and that choice you made shows to be true, they were faithful enough to stick around to see it to be true. Like, you need people like that in your corner. You need people like that's faithful, that can tell you honest feedback, but they're telling you honest feedback, and they're not telling you because they're ready to check out. They're telling you because they want you to grow. Right? Because listen to me, we as leaders aren't perfect. Sometimes our staff's going to come to us and say, hey, you shouldn't be doing that. You shouldn't have said that. Maybe we should think about this differently. Could you help me with this? Or could you not do that anymore to this? Or I need more of this from you? You're going to have that at times. But when you have people around you that are in it, and they're in the trenches with you, and they're not going anywhere, right? You can receive that stuff. And you need to receive that stuff. And you need to have the people that are faithful around you that like your spouse. My wife can give me honest feedback, but I know she's going to be with me forever. And I also know I can fail in front of my wife, and it's not an excuse for failing, but I know my wife ain't going to leave me because I failed, right? Because I said something I shouldn't have, or had an attitude I shouldn't have, or I went and did something, right? Like I went and had an activity or a hobby, and I didn't put my family first, right? And I'm like, I should have maybe made it. Like, I know there's times I'm going to fail. She's not going to leave me. You know what she's going to do? She's going to tell me. I'm going to change that. I'm going to correct it. But I know she's faithful to me. And so when I receive that stuff, I don't have this fear she's leaving me. I don't have this fear she's out. I have this faithful confidence that even in my failures, when I fix them, my wife is there. I apologize and I fix it, and I know I can move forward. You need faithful people around you. Now, looking around, faithful people. Who's holding your ladder? You're only going to go to certain heights if you have the right people around you. That's in leadership. It's also in your personal life. As believers, we're called to be surrounded by other believers that are strong. So I want to encourage you today. Make sure you have the right people holding your ladder. I hope you enjoyed today's podcast. Hope you enjoyed watching it on YouTube or listening to it. If you have not subscribed, I don't know what you're doing, right? So get your subscribe on. Also like the video. Come on, share it with your friends. And if you're listening on podcast, make sure you subscribe and also share it out. Guys, I hope you enjoy it. I love being able to share a little bit of my heart. Hope it encourages you. If you have any questions or comments at all, make sure you make a comment down below. Let me know which part of this video stood out. And also, give me a comment and shout out about what are some things you want to hear from. Until next time, guys. Love you guys. Pray God's peace.